Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about why I took a social media break from posting on YouTube. I'm back on YouTube, guys. I guess I want to share with you what has been kind of going on in my life recently and why I haven't been posting on YouTube recently. It's probably been at least a couple of months since I've actually posted on YouTube, but it was a necessary break. I really needed to take a break from posting on YouTube and focus on growing closer to God. Anyways, um, I needed to take a break from posting on YouTube. I guess one of the reasons is because I wanted to focus on growing closer to God. Um, for like almost 3 months, I have been really focusing on taking a lot of Bible study notes and prioritizing um, doing that every day, reading my Bible. I've been trying to stay consistent. I will admit that there are days where I haven't read my Bible, and there are days where I didn't take Bible study notes, and I need to try to prioritize doing that every single day. But I try to read the Bible and take Bible study notes as much as I can. I do write prayers every time I do Bible study notes, so that's something I prioritize. I guess if you guys want any tips on Bible study notes, like how do you take Bible study notes? I guess how I normally take Bible study notes is using the SOAP method. S is for scripture, O is for observation, A is for application, and P is for prayer. So that's the format that I normally use for my Bible study notes every time I take Bible study notes. So that's something that I've been trying to prioritize recently. I guess there were times where I did take a break from using other types of social media too. I think I haven't really been on TikTok for a little while, actually. I've been taking a break from being on TikTok. I want to focus more on my relationship with God and growing closer to God instead of being on TikTok, because I find TikTok to be a very big distraction. And I know that I normally would post videos on YouTube and I would post videos on TikTok, but I needed to take a break from doing that because it was becoming a distraction for me, and I was getting so caught up in being busy with editing my podcast episodes, recording my podcast episodes, staying up late at night, but it would take up a lot of my time. But I think what was really hard at that time was um, I was barely spending time with God. So I needed to make sure I could find that balance, and that's something that I'm still learning how to do. Something that I do think that I would definitely plan on sharing on social media and especially on YouTube at some point would be about if I was in a dating relationship. And I think at this point I should probably talk about it because um, I think it's important that I give you guys some updates. But I am in a new dating relationship. I've been dating this person for almost a month now. We actually started dating in February 20 I was going to say February 2024, but we started dating on February 24th of this year. So we've been dating for almost a month. On the 24th of this month, actually, it'll be a month since I've dated this person. But there's been a lot of things that have happened recently in my dating relationship. I probably won't go into too much details, but there's been some things that we've had to work through as a couple, and there are still things that we still need to work through as a couple. And I guess there's things that I need to work on personally in my own life, and there's things I know that I can work on in my relationship with my partner. So. His name is Thomas. We actually met on a Christian dating app. I actually went through a journey where I was going on and off on Christian dating apps for probably almost 3 years. 2024, I don't think I was even on Christian dating apps at all. I think I took a break from dating. So I know I probably would count it as almost 3 years since I was on Christian dating apps, technically. But I have to be completely honest. I was on Christian dating apps starting in March of 2023, I think. And I was doing that probably towards the end of 2023. And then I took a break from Christian dating apps in 2024. In 2025, I went back on Christian dating apps again, but it did take a lot of talking to other guys. It took a long time. It took a lot of effort, and I think each time that I talked to different guys, um, I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot of what I could work on. And honestly, I can say I definitely need to work on communication and being more patient. I could probably go on in the things I need to work on, but communication and being more patient is definitely a couple things I need to work on. But anyways, that was definitely a journey. And then in 2026, I was on Christian dating apps for a little bit. Obviously not for very long. And then shortly this year, I actually met the love of my life, and we've been dating for almost a month. And I am excited to share with you guys how I found out that this person's actually the person that God has for me. And I know for sure 100% this time. And I wanted to make sure that God confirmed to both me and to my partner that we're both meant to be together, that we're supposed to get married to each other. I take marriage very seriously, and I want to make sure that the person that I marry is sent from God, and that person is a Christian, and not only that they are a Christian, but I also think it's important that they have their own relationship with God. They love to pray, they read the Bible, they go to church every week. What are some other things? I would say some other things that I was looking for in a partner at the time was that they have a servant heart, that they love to help people just as much as I do, that they want to do ministry, some sort of a ministry. That was really important to me. They want to have a big family. That was something super important that I was looking for. Obviously, some couples prefer to have a smaller family. Some couples prefer only have a few kids when they get married. But for me and for my partner, we both decided that we both want to have a big family. And that was something very important to the both of us. And he might be watching this video possibly, but I thought I would share with you guys a little bit of what's been going on. But how God confirmed to me and to my partner that we're meant to be with each other and that we're supposed to get married to each other is that I think either sometime before I started dating him or sometime in the beginning of my relationship with him, my partner had asked God to like confirm to him if I'm the person that he's supposed to marry, if I am the person that that God has for him, by me possibly reading like the Book of Song of Solomon. He was basically asking God if I'm the one for him, that I would be reading out of the Book of Song of Solomon. And then he asked me what book of the Bible I was reading, and I told him that I was reading out of the Book of Song of Solomon. So I thought that was actually pretty cool. Another way that actually God confirmed to me that I'm supposed to marry him, that I'm supposed to marry Thomas, his name is Thomas, we actually started dating on February 24th. I think I probably already said that, but we started dating on February 24th this year. And God speaks to me through numbers. So the numbers 224, 224, I always get reminded of Genesis 2:24, and whenever God speaks to me through numbers, obviously it always goes back to the Bible. It refers back to the Bible. I think it's really important if you're going to look up numbers that you that that you look the numbers up and find out the meaning through Strong's Concordance Greek, or Strong's Concordance Hebrew. That is definitely the biblical way of finding out what different numbers mean. But anyways, I wanted to share that with you guys. And something random happened yesterday, I think, as I'm recording this video. My partner actually sent me a video, and he was actually looking into a toolbox that he received, and he looked through the toolbox and he found a candle with the number 9 on it. And if you're confused and you're wondering, how does that refer to anything about your relationship with Thomas, actually his last name is 9. So that's basically why I was, talking about that, and why that might be related to my relationship with Thomas. I think the number 9 is probably a very important number to both me and Thomas, since his last name is 9, and I became a Christian when I was 9 years old. So number 9 is a very important number to the both of us. So I thought that was a really cool way of God confirming for the 3rd time that I'm supposed to marry Thomas. So I wanted to share that with you guys, actually. So that was really cool. But that was a little bit of what's been going on. Something that I probably will talk about is that I'll probably be meeting my boyfriend for the first time in July, so I'll probably make a vlog about it, possibly. So if my boyfriend's probably listening to this video, I hope you're prepared. But I'll probably be recording a video that day, making a vlog, and I'll probably put that vlog on YouTube, on my other YouTube channel. I think it's called Kayden's Vlogs. I can probably link it down below. So if you want to go subscribe to that YouTube channel, you can. I'll be putting a lot of YouTube vlogs on the YouTube channel. I'll try to post every week, but it's going to be really, really hard to probably post more than once a week on YouTube, just because I'm going to be really busy. But I'll definitely try to post on YouTube as much as I can. But I definitely want to share some other updates, such as some Christian businesses that I will be starting, and it'll most likely be maybe next year, maybe in 2028, we'll see. But I might be opening up a Christian bookstore and a Christian coffee shop. That is something I feel like God has been calling me to do recently, actually. And my boyfriend is going to probably look for a property, possibly. So, but that's something that has happened in my life recently. I've been taking less medication recently, and I think that soon I might not have to take any more medications, so that's really exciting. I've been doing a little bit better, I think, than I was before. I've been feeling a little bit sad and a little bit depressed, probably here and there, and maybe there's some days where I feel super depressed. But, we all have, like, our ups and downs. We go through good days, and then we have our difficult days. But I think that I've been doing a little bit better than I was doing before, and I think that I needed to take a break from posting on YouTube, and it was necessary to grow closer to God. And I actually remember doing a fast with my boyfriend towards the beginning of our relationship, I think. And we did a fast, and I think that really brought me and my boyfriend closer to each other and closer to God. And I think that was necessary. I'm going to be probably starting like different things probably this year, most likely next year, such as the Christian businesses that I already mentioned. I'm planning on opening up a Christian bookstore and a Christian coffee shop, most likely next year. But this year, I want to start producing Christian music. I want to hopefully release Christian romance novels. I think this year that's the goal. I want to start recording Christian music in a music studio, and I found one I really like, actually. So it'll probably be this year, most likely. What else? Um, I think sometime this year or next year, I will be moving to another state. That is the goal at this point, and most likely might be next year, but it could be this year too. That I'll probably be moving to another state closer to my boyfriend. Um, I think that'll be necessary for my relationship with him, and especially since we plan on getting married in the future, that is the goal. But we probably won't be getting married for a while, though. I think that it'll probably be at least maybe a year. I think that's something that would probably work for both of us. But I think it's probably necessary because there's things I probably need to work on personally before I can be ready for marriage, before I can step into marriage. Um, but I thought I would share that with you guys because, like, I used to just rush into things and, out of, maybe out of my own feelings and maybe not really thinking about, um, how the other person felt, or I was thinking more about what I wanted. But I think what the important thing is um making sure that God is first in my life, making sure that God is in the center of my relationship with Thomas, um making sure that I'm working on myself, that he's also working on himself, um that he's also putting God first, um making sure that we're both honoring God. There are so many things that me and him need to prioritize, but I think that we need, like, to really focus on, um, I think we really need to focus on our relationships with God, and making sure that God is in the center of our relationship. So, also, I've definitely talked about this on my YouTube channel at some point, but I do plan on being a kids pastor in the future, but I do know that it's probably going to take some time if I have to go back to college. I know that I was in college at one point, but I guess I'll probably have to pray about it and see if God wants me to go back to college or if he wants me to start being a kids pastor without having a degree. So if you could pray for me, I would appreciate it. Um, but it's definitely going to take time for me to um definitely take time for me to get to where I want to be. But I think it'll be worth it. Waiting on God's timing will be so worth it. I've waited for over a decade to produce Christian music, and if I have to wait another year, I will. But I really do believe that God is calling me to produce Christian music this year. So I know that God will make a way, um, and I know that God will make a way for me to produce Christian music. It may look impossible to men, but with God, all things are possible. And that's a Bible verse that I've been trying to remind myself daily, actually, because there's a lot of times where I get very discouraged. Um, Even though God has already blessed me with a wonderful man of God, I am still waiting on other things that God wants me to do. And I'm still waiting to do what God has called me to do. Um, I'm waiting on His perfect timing still. But I think that once I step into what God has called me to do on His perfect timing, it'll all be worth it regardless. Also, I would like to be able to start recording my podcast episodes hopefully soon, but it'll most likely be when I do move to North Carolina. Um, it was definitely a lot easier to be able to record podcast episodes having my phone that I can use while I'm recording my podcast episodes on my computer. But I could also try to record podcast episodes on my phone, but we'll see. But I definitely plan on recording podcast episodes hopefully soon, hopefully in the near future. Hopefully in the near future I can start recording podcast episodes again. I think that might be all the updates I have for now. But anyways, thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned for the next YouTube video. Hopefully I'll be able to post another YouTube video next week, or maybe this week, we'll see. But stay tuned for next week's YouTube video, or this week's YouTube video whenever I'm able to post a YouTube video. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, or night, and I will see you guys later.